Imagine receiving an invitation to a place that doesn't exist from a person you've never met. That's what happened to John Holloway, an ordinary man from Ohio. John's life was as mundane as they come. He worked a 9-to-5 job, lived in a modest home, and lived a life of routine. But one day, his life took a chilling turn. Out of the blue, he received a mysterious letter. The letter was an invitation to a remote location named Eden's End. Intrigued, John scoured maps and searched the internet, but his efforts were in vain. There was no trace of a place called Eden's End. The sender of the letter was unknown. And to add to the peculiarity, the postmark on the envelope was smudged beyond recognition. It was an enigma, a puzzle that begged to be solved. Despite the oddity of the situation, curiosity got the better of John. He decided to embark on a journey to locate Eden's End. John set out on his journey, armed with nothing but the cryptic letter and his unwavering determination. His destination, a place cloaked in mystery and shrouded in whispers, Eden's End. As he ventured further, he crossed paths with locals whose furrowed brows and wary eyes spoke volumes of their fear. They warned him, their voices soaked in caution, of the ill-fated souls who had gone seeking Eden's End, never to return. Yet the tales of the missing, the hushed whispers of the unknown, did nothing to deter John. Instead, they fueled his determination, pushing him further into the enigmatic journey. The road was treacherous, and the further he traveled, the more distorted his reality became. His compass, once a reliable guide, spun wildly, its needle dancing in a chaotic frenzy. It was as if Eden's End itself was a vortex, pulling him in, disrupting the very laws of nature. The journey took an even more ominous turn when his car, a sturdy companion, coughed and spluttered before coming to a complete halt. He was miles away from the nearest town, engulfed by an eerie silence that echoed the isolation of his predicament. The world seemed to hold its breath, the air thick with a foreboding stillness. John was now stuck in the middle of nowhere with the chilling realization that he might have walked into a trap. As night fell, John found himself stranded in the wilderness, miles away from civilization. The once comforting stillness of the forest had shifted into an unsettling symphony of nocturnal whispers. The rustling leaves, the distant hoot of an owl, and the stealthy snap of a twig under unseen feet contributed to a chilling soundtrack of his predicament. John's heart pounded in his chest like a frantic drummer, matching the rhythm of the night. He was alone, or so he thought, until the evidence suggested otherwise. The discovery of footprints around his makeshift camp sent a jolt of terror through his veins. Each print, an ominous signature of an uninvited presence, was a blatant reminder that he was a stranger in this vast, untamed wilderness. His imagination, fueled by fear, painted menacing images of shadowy figures lurking in the darkness. Each ambiguous shape in the moonlit forest morphed into a potential threat. His mind echoed with tales of wilderness survival and encounters with wild beasts. He was trapped in a real-life horror story, with the wilderness playing the role of an antagonist. As the hours of the night rolled on, his fear escalated. The footprints, the sounds, the figures, all were puzzle pieces forming a terrifying picture. He was not alone in this wilderness. He was in the company of the unknown. But, as the old saying goes, the night is darkest just before the dawn. As dawn approached, John knew he had to escape this nightmare. He had to survive, not just for himself, but for the story that he would live to tell. With the first rays of the morning sun, John mustered his courage and decided to make a break for it. The chill of the night had not yet dissipated, but he couldn't afford to wait. His heart pounded like a drum as he meticulously worked on his broken-down car, with every creak of the wilderness echoing the dread he felt. Each rustle of the leaves, each crack of a twig, seemed to whisper a warning that he was being watched, followed perhaps. Yet he pressed on, driven by the primal instinct for survival. Against all odds, the engine roared to life, its sound a beacon of hope amidst the eerie silence. Without wasting a moment, he stepped on the gas and sped away, the looming trees of Eden's End growing smaller in his rearview mirror. Upon his return to the safety of civilization, he found that the cryptic letter and the hand-drawn map that had led him to this forsaken place had vanished, as if swallowed by the ether. But the harrowing memories of that night remained, etched in the recesses of his mind, a haunting reminder of the terror he had endured. John may have escaped Eden's end, but the haunting memories of that night continue to linger.